Bentornati, and welcome back to Katdiriton Oltaristrath, Glimmerhall, the Gilded Jewel. It is the 28th of the month of Malachite, so it's the midsummer of the year 250. The dwarves bid you welcome. A very quick status update on myself, your narrator. I've been hit with pretty bad case of bronchitis that knocked out my voice for an entire week, and then for a second week after that I still couldn't speak for extended periods of time. I still have to stop from time to time and cough and drink something. I'm trying to take care of myself, take care of my voice, hydrate better. I definitely need to do better on that regard, but only now I feel confident that I can sit down and record an episode. Dwarf Fortress for me is a game that really benefits from a long play session because you get the time to think about things. Anyway, now we have a new episode, so thank you so much for your patience. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna try and take better care of myself. Enjoy. Okay, so what is happening? At the end of the last episode, we had our first migrant wave, and in that first migrant wave, we had some few interesting dwarves joining us, and you can see that the UI in here, albeit very minimalist, as always, is telling us that there's something interesting about Ral Luciancaton and Ilral Tashem Solon. Well, one is a legendary stonecrafter and the other one is a legendary woodcrafter. And one in particular is also listed as being the creator of something. And I think, was it Ral? Yes, it's Ral. And we were mentioning at the end of the last episode about this strange mystery about this dwarf Ral being obviously the creator of some artifact, and that artifact not being visible anywhere. I don't know where that would be, but if I go to the list of artifacts, no, that is locations. What's the list of artifacts? Capital L, of course. Yeah, we can see this. Kitidor, the Scarce Howl, the Indigo Tourmaline Ring, which is an indigo tourmaline ring banded and encircled with grisly bear tooth and menacing with spikes of morganite, and there's the image of octagon cut gems in helmet snake bone on it, and it's worth 60,000. That's not a bad artifact. However, even though it's in the list, I don't know where that is. So that is the mystery that we have. However, let's not be too concerned with that just right now. What we should do, really, having just had this influx of new dwarves, is take a look at what they can do to help us with the fortress, and also make sure that they have, somewhere to sleep, that there's enough to drink and eat and stuff like that. Now, even though this is not necessary, and most important of all, will be totally rendered unnecessary when the Steam version comes out, when the premium version with the new UI comes out, I like to check on these things using Dwarf Therapist. You don't have to. I'm not saying that you have to. I'm saying that for me, this is the easiest way. So I'm going to Alt-Tab to Dwarf Therapist, and here it is. I zoomed in a little bit in Dwarf Therapist. If you're curious of how that is done, just go to the options and to the grid options. You can increase the cell size, and that makes the single square larger. And I changed the font for the numbers in here. I changed the way the skills or the skill level is represented. Instead of a number, I use this growing black square, and yeah, this should make it slightly easier to read. So the other very useful thing that Dwarf Therapist does is that it groups our dwarves based on when they joined. So I immediately know that all of them, all of these dwarves joined with this migrant wave. So it's them specifically that we want to get to know better, and we want to set up properly so that they can work in the most efficient way. So I'm seeing here already that there's a bunch of woodcutters. We don't need a very specialized woodcutter, but it's good to have a dwarf that can immediately go and, chop down trees if and when it's needed. Also, not having a lot of people... Okay, let me rephrase that. Having many dwarves come in with that profession is good because each of them brings a battle axe. And then it's good not to have all of them set to woodcutting, because it means that you free those battle axes to be used for military purposes should the need arise. So I see here that I have this Minkut Avuzust that isn't really skilled in anything else. So what I would do by preference is disable woodcutting on everybody else. And I can go ahead and commit these changes. Okay, so now I have a dedicated woodcutter. I have Ilral, which is a legendary woodcrafter, which means that I can safely disable woodcrafting from Lolor. So whenever there's woodcrafting to make, we're gonna have very beautiful woodcrafts made by Ilral. What else do we have? We have somebody that is skilled in trapping, hunting, animal training, dissection. You know what? We will make you the animal caretaker. Okay, so get all of that. I'm gonna make sure that you also are in charge of... Where is milking? I'm sure is in here somewhere. This is milling, which is not the same thing. Butchery, tanning. You know what? You can also do butchery and tanning because we don't have anybody else set up for that just right now. Oh, here it is. Just because it's in this other color, I often disregard milking. So I'm gonna give you milking and cheese making, just because I don't have anybody else able to do that or set up to do right now. And that's gonna be it for you. Temporarily, I'm gonna give you beekeeping and waxworking, just because you are gonna be... No, not you. You, okay. So Ilral, you are officially my animal person. Maybe don't do... I mean, lye making and pressing, you're adequate at it. I'm gonna leave it like that. No, maybe not. Maybe not. I'm gonna specialize. Okay, Ilral, animal caretaker. I have an extra miner. I like that. And I want to keep it like that. So no farming or soaping or milling. I don't think Fikod Abuzatud is going to miss those labors too much, as Ilral is not gonna miss doing wood burning and potash making. Also, you don't need to go out and fish, or do fish cleaning. And same thing for Ral. Ral, you are legendary stonecrafter. Fishing and fish cleaning is not for you. You are, however, also legendary mechanic. So I'm going to also... siege operating and pump operating. No, I don't want you to do that. I want you to... even just mechanics already being legendary means that it's gonna be so quick at crafting, stuff that needs mechanics like levers, gears, and stuff like that. So we won't... No, don't do that. We won't just Ral to go and do that, because they are gonna do it incredibly faster than anybody else. Somebody's good at spinning. That's still Ilral. No, don't do the spinning. Top of the list is Edsel. Edsel knows one thing, and that is spinning. Oh, you know, there's shearing in here, and shearing is totally an animal-related thing. So we're gonna give shearing to Ilral Odom something, Odom Fath. But it's gonna be Edsel taking charge of spinning, weaving, clothes making, and dyeing. Even though we haven't anything like that set up at the moment, you have to imagine, however, that these dwarves will also do other things, like cleaning, hauling, and stuff like that. Now, do I want to immediately go all the way and disable some of these other labors for my legendary crafters? I mean, if I want to get them to work very efficiently right away, I could. And that would mean, just because I'm here and I like to explain stuff, as you probably noticed, let's say that I want in here Ral to focus on those things, right? I would say, you know what, Ral, you don't do animal hauling. I tend to leave everybody able to do burial just because I imagine that burial is this kind of sacred thing for dwarves. In my mind, dwarves are really attached to their ancestors, so to disable burial to me would be kind of disrespectful. I like to roleplay like that. But don't do furniture hauling or food hauling or item. You don't need to go around and push vehicles or refuse, for example. For sure, don't haul stone, because that's really intensive labor. Trade goods, I imagine you would want to do trade goods. Water hauling, yes, no, I mean, no, don't do that. That would mean when you designate some place to be filled with buckets, which is also very labor intensive. Don't do wood hauling, don't do cleaning, don't do construction, don't do deconstruction, don't do road building. Do push levers though. Levers are very important because usually you tie very delicate and very dangerous parts of your fortress to the flip of a lever. You want everybody to be able to pull a lever as they walk by. That's always a really good idea, so never disable that. So I think this will be it also for Ilral. We'll do the same thing. There you go. So now these two dwarves are very focused, like extremely focused. Okay, then we have Onget here. Onget is very specialized himself. I mean, he would be a hunter, but then he's a potash maker. Now, since you like potash making, and I don't really need a bunch of hunters to go, at least for now, I'm gonna say that you're gonna be my generalist farmer. So plant processing also goes in there. And fish cleaning and fish dissection. So a generalist farmer Onget is, says Yoda. Do I want anything else? Maybe wood burning. Where's wood burning? Oh yeah, wood burning is in here. I don't need now everybody else to be on wood burning because I have a farmer. Do I want to get a second generalist farmer right away? I don't think it's really needed, but this person is on animal training. There's an argument for having them do the animal training instead of them, but I mean, it's novice versus adequate. It's not such a big deal. So let's do this. Should I have them also on butchery? I think I should have them on butchery and have the animal person not be on butchery or tanning, because eventually they'll be also a hunter, I think. So let's do something like this instead. Oh, and while I'm at it, these two generalist farmers can also do plant gathering so that I can free the original dwarves from doing that. I think that's a good idea. So I still have cooking and brewing associated with my doctor, my original medical dwarf, which is Kogan. Don't get on the bad side of Kogan, for he is our only salvation. And then we have two growers, okay, which is not just farming. The grower is very important, as I think I explained in the last episode, because their skill dictates how much your crops produce, right? So we want to have specialized growers. Right now they are also carpenters for some reason. I'm gonna have just one carpenter going forward. Then I have this guy, which is in mining. You know what? I'm gonna disable mining for you, since we have a new miner. Because masonry is gonna be important. I'm gonna disable stone crafting on Ustut though, because we have a legendary stone crafter. Okay, I think we have most of our bases covered. 3 miners. I might use a 4th, to be totally honest with you. You know what? We are definitely not gonna have cloth for some time. So I might just say that Edzul for now gets a pick to play with. Alright, let's commit to this. Let's get back to the game for a while. So what we want to make sure of next is that these dwarves have accommodations and a job, right? Let's zoom in slightly, and if we look in here, we can say that we have a bunch of beds. These beds are not assigned to anybody because this is a barracks type of room. I'm sorry, not barracks, a dormitory. Yes, exactly. So anybody can sleep in any of these. I'm gonna wager that these beds, these 7 beds, are enough for everybody to have a turn of sleeping, especially because the new dwarves came in, you know, at a time where no dwarf is in there sleeping, so probably their sleep schedule is going to be somewhat staggered. When it comes to jobs, let's get down into our fortress. So in here we have our food situation, food industry going on, and this is the first level that we were mining out to allow us to set up some workshops. I'm gonna have some generalist workshops in these corners, and since I now have a couple of legendary crafters, I'm going to unlock this area here. So designate, I want to toggle, so capital M, toggle markings on all of this. Okay, so this is now gonna be dug out. Do I actually want these? Well, maybe I do. I can either continue going up from here, or I can put 2 statues in there. So the alcoves are not bad. So these large rooms, why? Because I want to have a workshop in the middle, right? And they're gonna have a stockpile behind and one in front, so that they have plenty of materials and plenty of storage for the resulting goods. And that's also because legendary crafters are often quite speedy at completing their tasks. They not only make better items, but they work much faster. Let's now make instead some generalists workshops. I think I can squeeze a couple of workshops per corner. What I want to do is say, let's have one corner dedicated to stone for now. Even though eventually probably I'm gonna have an entire layer dedicated to stone and an entire layer dedicated to, I don't know, wood and other stuff, right? And one for metal and so on and so forth. Let's do workshops. Let's have the mason workshop. The mason workshop is always very, very important. So let's have the mason workshop. Why not? Right there. Do I have nice stuff to make it out of? I have shale blocks, and I have quite a bit of them. Yeah, shale blocks. Okay, so this is a mason's workshop ready to be built. Then, speaking of a stone, let's have a crafts dwarfs shop. So that's... I built this like so. And this is gonna be the craft dwarfs workshop. Let's put it in there. Shale blocks again. Then the idea is that I can have a shared input stockpile right here. Let's make that. No, that's not the key. P is the key for stockpiles. Stone stockpile. Right there. Since there's already stone on it, and it's shale, and shale is not bad, you know, there's nothing wrong with shale. You can go in here and say, I'm gonna have stone. I'm gonna disable, no, enable, I'm gonna forbid F, all these other categories for you. And then I'm gonna say that you take specifically, it was, no, that's slate, this is shale, okay. So only shale goes in here, and you get 1 wheelbarrows. Let's make it 2. There's gonna be 2, maximum 2 wheelbarrows associated with this one. Let's give it a name, Control N. G for general, or gen stone input. Because this is gonna be the input for 2 separate workshops. Then, let's make the outputs, right? I still want to have this ring in here, like free for walking. I don't know what else was I gonna say there. If I do P, and this is gonna be a what? So for the crafts dwarf shop, it's gonna be items or goods, finished goods, and for the mason it's gonna be furniture, right? So U is for furniture. Let's start like this. And then I can do X for removing. Is this right? Okay, it's not super big, but it's gonna be enough for people to like notice that there's goods in there and get them, I think. But let's get back to it now and say Control N. This is general mason output. Yes, doesn't need wheelbarrows or barrels or bins or anything, but this will not take from anywhere. So A, and it says we'll take from links only, because when this is done, can I do it before it's constructed? If I do T for take, oh yeah, absolutely, it can take from the mason's workshop, even though it's not built yet. Can I even name it? Absolutely, yes, I can name. This is the general masons, you know? General masons. And so in here says it takes from general masons. And this one I can say G for gives to general masons. Fantastic. Also, G gives to, well, let's give it a name first. General stone crafts. So this one, G, gives to general stone crafts. Let's make also an output for that. So finished goods. No, don't. I was starting from inside another one, which is not ideal. Yes. In here? Is it this? Is it symmetric? I think it is. I need to remove this. So Q. Give it a name. General Stone Craft output. Barely fits in there. Doesn't take from anywhere. So takes from links only. Takes from General Stonecrafts. Okay, fantastic. So this is set up for generic, well, making stuff out of stone. And there's a little bit of space in here if we wanted. We could even have, you know, we could double up with the input in here, or I don't know, put something else in there like statues. I don't know. Let's try and do something similar in the left side here for wood. I think I'm gonna cut some of this because it's basically gonna be some of the same. And let's just make the workshops together, and then I'm gonna set up the stockpiles myself. It's basically like whatever you just seen me doing, I'm gonna do more of that. Okay, so this is gonna be, well, a carpenter's, of course, there. Again, shale blocks, I like those, very thematic. And then it's probably gonna be another crafts workshop in here, specifically for wood items. Shale blocks. Okay, I'm gonna name them General Carpentry, General Wood Crafts. Alright, let me quickly create these stockpiles. Alright, that is done. So here we have the General Woodcrafts in construction. We have General Woodcraft output, General Woodcraft input, and General Carpentry output. And this input, of course, gives both to General Carpentry and General Woodcrafts. So that is going to be the two, let's say, most important industries served. I think I'm now ready to let the dwarves loose so that I can get there and do something, because there's a bunch of stuff to build and there's this area to mine out. Do I want to take a look also deeper underground? I haven't really done anything to go deeper down. I might start working on our actual living area, let's say, right? Because, let me see, I want to have proper 3x3 rooms, both for my original dwarves, but also for the legendary crafters. So I have 8, 16. Is that enough? How many dwarves do I have? 15. That is perfect. So I think I want to do designate, Control M. So look at me. 1 second, I say, no. What have I done? I wanted to toggle. Okay, give me a second. I need to fix this. There you go, fixed. Now let's make sure I'm selecting Control M, toggle. Okay, good. So I want to carve out this portion, yes. And this. Maybe the entirety of this corridor. And this. Now, of course, dwarves will need to get to here somehow. So let's select from here and let's go up and do a multi-tile, multi-layer selection. All right, so everything in here is now, I'm going up and down. Everything is toggled to be mined. Beautiful. Do I want to make sure that they work in here first? I could. And I could by converting these to a lower priority, for example. But I need to match the same thing. And especially these stairs. These are up-down stairs. So I select I for up-down stairs. And I say this is, you know what, this is 7. So do this. And I paint over it. So they'll do this with the lowest priority. Okay, you know what? Unpause. Dwarves, get to work. Look at them. Flowing down. Here they come. They start mining, they start building, they begin to fill up the stockpiles. And just like that, let me pause for a second again. Just like that, the woodcrafts area is done. Fantastic. Do I want to do something right away? I think I do. I want to have more wheelbarrows. How many wheelbarrows do I have, actually? This is a nice time to introduce our stocks screen. So it would be at the bottom, right? Oh, that's why they're listed under tools. Okay, that actually makes sense. So I imagine under tools we'll have both wheelbarrows, step ladders. What else counts as a tool? I don't know. Because I think picks are somewhere else. They're probably under weapons. Yup. But axes and picks are under weapons. So yeah, tools in here means wheelbarrows and step ladders. Makes sense. We have 4. So actually I don't need more of those. Do I have enough barrels instead? Stocks. Talk to me about barrels. I have 16. How many of them are used? If I hit tab, I can say what's inside. But there's actually quite a few of them which are free. So you know what? Unpause. I don't specifically need to craft anything right now. Let's just watch. Let's just watch the dwarves as they toil under the earth. Let's zoom a little bit. Oh, what is this that we found? Rough rose quartzes. Yeah, we will need to set up also some workshops for jewelry, because let's remember we want to adhere to the high standards of Glimmerhall. Encrust, engrave, and otherwise decorate all our crafts. Okay, we are almost there with rooms for our legendary dwarves that we are gonna set up next. Right, and at this point I will let the miners go through the downward staircase so that they can get... Ooh, look at this. What is this? Rough hewn quartzite. That's cute. Very nice indeed. Rock crystal even. Is it quartzite all the way through? That's nice. It's also a very nice color. I want to start using quartzite at some point. It's okay though. Okay, let's pause in here. So, again, what we have is wood crafts and stone crafts, right? So, we start with a workshop. Build, workshop. And they are both gonna be crafts, dwarves, shops, right? So one in here, we build it out of blocks just because it's gonna be of a higher value, higher quality. And this is gonna be specifically for our legendary. Let's take a look in here. Legendary Stonecrafter Ral. So we're gonna name it accordingly. This is gonna be Ral's workshop. Control N. There you go, Ral's workshop. And it's gonna have, again, stone stockpile behind it. I don't think we really need such a big stockpile, but then again. Now this one, though, would be nice to have it full of quartzite. So, forbid everything. Yes, let's make things out of quartzite, because it's really pretty looking. So you give to Ral's workshop. P, G for finished goods, and this entire area here is the output. Do not take from anything but links, so take from Ral's workshop. Yes. This is gonna have bins. This is something that I haven't addressed. Every finished goods stockpiles, and also other kinds of stockpiles, they are created by default with the maximum amount of bins allowed. This can complicate things a bit, especially when you have a lot of separate stockpiles, because there's no way of telling dwarves to give one bin each to start, right? They will just put all the bins they have, whatever they want. And that can, you know, make it so that one pile gets filled up first because it has no bins, and so on and so forth. So maybe one way to do it in here is to start from 1. And in a second I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna do the same on all the other stockpiles, so that all the stockpiles start with 1 bin, and as we see them, you know, getting full, we can bump up the number of bins allowed. So you take from Ral's workshop, you don't take from anything but links. So we are set up. Ral's workshop is ready. Let's make another one in here. Shell box. This is gonna be Ilral's. So Control N. Ilral's workshop. And the same. At this time, wood is the basic input, and but again, finished goods is the output. So, okay, there you go, all fixed. I also had the names confused, so this is now Ilral's workshop. Why output? Why do I keep doing this? This is input. Okay, input. And this is its output. Okay, cool. And this is Ral's. And this needs a name. There you go. All set up. Unpause and let's see if they come personally to set up their own workshop. Not that I specifically gave it to them, but look at this. Look at this guy. What are you? Ilral. Yes, of course you would come in and make your own workshop. And Ral is there. Well, I mean, okay. So both of them can work in the same kind of workshop, right? It's only the name right now that is that would be a way of telling these two workshops apart. But it just so happened that each of them went and built their own, which is amazing. This is just the power of randomness and Dwarf Fortress combined, conspiring to create amazing stories. Fantastic. So we also have a few bins in there. I mean, there's one bin. I think we're gonna need more bins going forward. Do we want to make sure that we have bins? I think so. Before that though, let's get back to the surface, because I think we can remove some of these workshops, right? So let's take a look at, these are masons. remove this, we have the official one downstairs. These are another masons, can be removed. These are jewelers, we still don't have that. Carpenters, remove. Carpenters, remove. Craft dwarves, remove. Right. So, if I now start giving orders to make more stuff, yes, here they are. They are removing some of the workshops here, dismantling and freeing some of those resources. So if I now want to use the manager to ask for the creation of more bins, I can do that, and the bins won't go and clutter other places. But I just need to make sure that. So this one allows for 2. This one allows for 6. You know what? You're not gonna need all of those. Let's allow for 2. What is this one? A finished goods stockpile. Oh, this one has our mugs in it. Wood cups. What I'm still lacking is a general stockpile that is underground. So this is the entrance, right? And near the entrance, we want to have a depot, a trade depot. And I think we can start building that because I designed this space for it, so I might as well build. Is it capital D? Yes, trade depot. You know what's gonna happen with the new version of Dwarf Fortress, right? I've seen, because at this point there's a few videos on Kid Fox's channel on YouTube that you can go and watch, where I forgot the name now, but it's their press manager, social media and press manager, trying to learn the game. This person never played Dwarf Fortress. I don't think she even plays games much in general, and it's funny and amazing. She's trying to learn to play Dwarf Fortress on the premium version. But one thing you will notice is that the menus are radically different. They're now much more accessible. You can use the mouse to do many things, and in general, the info and tools are much more, let's say, thought out in the way they are presented to the user. But also, all these amazing shortcuts that I learned in the past 10 years won't work anymore. Instead of the arrow keys, I'm gonna have to use WASD to move the view around and stuff like that, and yeah. Anyway, so trade depot in here, absolutely, and let's use shale again. There you go. So at some point, an architect will swing by. Oh, I see some shale blocks have been brought there. If we wanted to check, we can press T to look at what's inside. No, it doesn't say. Curious. So both Q and T in this instance don't exactly show if there's blocks in there, but there is. Another one just came in. Cancel give water to who? Toon? Does Booth call cancel give water? Who are you trying to give water to? Oh, a little bit of a glitch in there. I don't know. Well, maybe somebody was going to rescue this dwarf here, Ficod, because they are very thirsty, but are right now drinking. What are you drinking, my friend? Ficod the miner, competent hammer dwarf. You're thirsty, yes. Your inventory. You have in there a coating of what? Tears. Oh my god, you were so thirsty. So thirsty that you were crying, Ficod. Well, I'm I'm very relieved that you found our alcohol stockpile. You are holding an olive wood cup. I hope it's a really nice cup. Actually, we can take a look at it. No. Oh, I was looking at the dwarven ale. The olive wood cup is filled with dwarven ale. No, I want to look at the cup itself. It's a well-crafted olive wood cup, and this too has a rendition of the mirthful workers. I think I had specifically ordered all these cups to be decorated like so. So with our symbol, the mirthful workers of Glimmerhall. So drink away, my dude. Drink that dwarven ale in that beautiful cup. Yeah, let me unpause so that you can drink. There you go. And he's not thirsty anymore. This is another dwarf. He's also thirsty. Are you also crying because of thirst? He is. Edzul also is crying. My god, these dwarves. Don't cry. There's alcohol there. You could just go there and drink. I'm now thinking maybe something happened downstairs that I'm not aware of. I mean, no, that's too deep in here. They were here mining our rooms, and they're doing a really good job. I see that an entire portion. Here, let me zoom out a little bit. It's already dug out, and yeah. But don't cry. Whenever you feel thirsty, you can just run upstairs and grab a cup, of course. Now, there it is. Look at this trade depot. Oh, this is amazing. I mean, the new ones are also really, really good. Like, the new graphics are much more dynamic. Yeah, we will be able to see, like, it's, if you're curious, either go to Steam, to the Steam page. If you didn't do it already, wishlist Dwarf Fortress on Steam, please. Even if you don't want to buy it, go there and wishlist it. It helps. Wishlisting does more for a game than following or even giving it a positive rate. Also because you can't right now. It needs to come up, I think, to give it a rating. But yeah, please do it. And anyway, do get there and also look at the screenshots of the new sprites. The trade depot is fantastic in my opinion, because it's now separate in two sides, one for the caravan and one for your fortress, and you can see all the goods displayed there. It's really nice. Oh, autumn has arrived. Look at this. Finally, I was able to spend enough time unpaused that we had a change of season. There, the game finished saving. Do we have a change up here? There is a little bit of a change. It is slightly darker in here. Was it darker under the trees before? I'm not sure. However, in autumn, at some point, leaves will start falling down, and this will become quite a beautiful piece of scenery. Have I taken care of the new animals? Question mark. Let me look at this. This is our pen pasture area. Oh, maybe I didn't. I have turkeys going around. Well, turkeys don't really need to be. There's no necessity to have turkeys outside. They just it's implied that they just pluck small critters, insects and stuff directly from the ground. So you don't need to put them outside on fresh grass. We need a place to store things. Yes. For now, I think I'm gonna open up the digging of these two areas. And this is gonna... It's not a lot. But I guess I have food in here already. Food and drink. So this is gonna have to do. The biggest offender right now is furniture. We have a lot of furniture, usually, in a fortress. Being made, being produced, being moved around, and so on and so forth. But yeah, let's do that. Control M, toggle designation, like so, and pause. So there's at least a little bit of space to store stuff. Do I want to store the cups, though, specifically close to the alcohol? I think that is a good idea, because when do dwarves need those olive wood cups? If not, when they're about to drink, right? So, and if you can see, they are bringing the cups with them. And then they either abandon the cups there momentarily. But the thing is, these cups now, right? There it is. Right now in here there's both a wine barrel and an olive wood cup. This cup will want to go in a finished goods stockpile. Right? Unless we specifically say that this stockpile, this food stockpile, that has no name, but we can call it Control N. This is a... What is this? Well, this is kind of the output of the kitchen, in a sense. But for now, this is our general food stockpile. General food stores. Right? So for now, we can get in here and say that actually cups are allowed in here. So it would be finished goods that we need to enable. We need to disable types, but flasks, goblets, and nothing else. Just flasks and goblets are allowed here. So by doing this, we should have allowed those cups to actually remain here, stay in place. However, the dwarves did bring them away. I see. Maybe flasks and goblets. I mean, there's another stockpile designated here. So dwarves are still going all the way up. Should I remove this one? And what happens if I do? I remove this stockpile. Now all those goblets in these bins are available for grabs, and sure enough, dwarves go there and grab them. Oh, the caravan has arrived. The outpost liaison has arrived. Okay, so we will take a look at the goblets in a while, but for now, let's take a look at these guys. Tun Kuletetis, the merchant. I don't know why I'm laughing. I mean, we all know why I'm laughing, but that's not the point. Oh, she has a very deep voice and a round chin. What I want to do, though, is just follow this person. Wait a second, what is that? Oh, it's a... It's a warrior dwarf escorting. It's called Konmamgoz, a Marks dwarf. Sporting a steel crossbow. Wow. I want to know what kind of bolts you have. Iron bolts and a steel crossbow. You don't want to mess with these guys. Oh wait, I'm not following anymore. Actually, yeah, let's follow him. Oh, what is this? The expedition leader Dobar Imushvesh meets with the outpost liaison Stakud Mezertekud. I am your liaison from the mountain homes. Let's discuss your situation. The expedition leader Dobar Imushvesh again meets with the same person, Stakud. There is much to share. So they just share information on civilizations and world info, which is good, something that we can check in the next episode, maybe. So finish peeking in on conversation, then the next conversation that we have, this always happens if it's the first time you're seeing something like this. Whenever the caravans arrive, and it's the Dwarven caravan, this person, the liaison, is the representative of your entire civilization, basically. You can think of this person as an envoy from the king, and they come to, discuss your new fortress and also give you news. And then they want to ask you, what requests do you have of our merchants? And you can get in this discussion and say that you want specific stuff. For example, I might say, you know what, leather is kind of useful, it's very important, so why don't you give me a little bit of leather? I pressed shift and right. You cannot normally do this. This is just because I'm using DF hack. Normally you will have to use the keys and do left and right like this, and that little bar moves there saying that you would pay more for that, and that's the incentive for the merchants to bring more of this kind of goods. I would also like you to bring some, maybe not pigtail cloth because that's really expensive, but silk. Crafts, not really. I want to make crafts, I don't want you to bring crafts. Metal bars though. We don't yet know if we're gonna find a lot of metal. We actually still have to find a single piece of metal down in the mines. So I would like you to bring iron. I would definitely pay for iron bars. I would pay for bronze, steel, pig iron, and what else? Maybe not gold for now. I think that's it. Yes. This is the stuff that I would buy. Gems, not really. You always find gems. Seeds. I guess. Should we, for some reason, run out of seeds? Which, by the way, would just mean mismanagement. There's no other way of running out of seeds. For example, you designate some plants to cook instead of brew, and people eat the plant with the seeds inside. We don't need more anvils. I hope I'm not gonna need weapons. Trap components, that's usually what I would sell. Headwear, footwear, shields, toys, instruments, pets. Do I want to buy pets? Not at the moment. Not right now. Drinks though, you know what? Always bring drinks. Should we find ourselves in dire situation, with scarcity of alcohol, it's at least good to know that once a year the caravan will bring some. Cheese powders. Okay, this is important now. Gypsum plaster. Bring gypsum plaster. That's one of the few. Well, it's the only way to create a cast for a broken limb. I mean, dwarves can also make a wooden splint, but if you have gypsum plaster, you're gonna make a cast, and I'm not sure, is that better I'm actually not certain. But I always thought, well, if you don't have gypsum, which is a type of stone, on your map, dwarves cannot get a cast. Anyway, extracts. We could buy milk. Could buy milk. This is kind of cheesy. Get it? Buy milk. It's kind of cheesy. No, but really, it's kind of cheesing the mechanics of the game. Because milk is cheap. Milk is cheap and comes with its own barrel. So it's a very convenient way of telling the caravan to bring a lot of barrels that are gonna be cheap to buy because they are gonna be full of milk. And milk you can convert into cheese right away, which is food. Also, being cheese a processed food, it's got a pretty high value comparatively, and so also if you then cook the cheese into meals, those meals are going to be of even higher value. Meat, fish, plants, garden vegetables, stone, cages. Cages, for example, could be a convenient way to get specific metals, but usually I never saw iron cages. So if we wanted, for example, to make bronze, we could say, you know what, bring copper cages and tin cages. Then we can smelt the cages for, I think, 2 or 3 bars each. And then you can, again, from the bars make your bronze. Not particularly interested. Bags. Okay, leather bags. We always need bags. We're gonna make our own too, but please bring some. Should we not be ready by next year? And I say leather specifically because the cheap kind of leathers are much cheaper, for example, than pigtail bags. Pigtail is a very rich type of cloth, so I would never order pigtail bags specifically, because a bag is just a tool, right? I'm not sure if dwarves get a positive thought, a happy thought out of looking at a very nice and decorated bag. You can definitely decorate bags. You can order your dwarves to sew images with either cloth or thread or leather onto a bag, if you so choose. But I'm not sure what's the point. Cave spider silk bags, yes, not giant cave spider silk bags. Giant cave spider silk being much more pricey. Do bring silk thread, though. Yes. Barrels. Do bring barrels. Barrels are always useful. Always have a lot of barrels. Should I ask for quivers and backpacks? Maybe. Sand. Yes, bring sand. Actually, sand is another cheesy way of buying bags, because sand comes in bags and sand is extremely cheap. So sand bag is a cheap bag, basically. Glass, miscellaneous, lye, charcoal, potash, perilous, and coke. You know what? Bring this stuff, because this is stuff that is kind of labor intensive. There's probably a use for those things. Buckets, splints, crutches, eggs. Bags of yarn. Yes. Yarn cloth. Yeah. Thread, yarn. Yes. Tools, clay, sheets. Yeah, bring sheets, actually. We actually have now a scholar in our midst, and having a place where they can write some scroll or some book could be interesting. Alright, I think this is everything we want to buy. Done. Okay. Staked now says, well then, we've finalized the import agreement. Feel free to look over the documents. Yes, I want to look over the documents. This is the import agreement. So, prices for the leather. You can see that our noble actually haggled for prices on each item specifically. So, for example, Hoary Marmot leather will buy at 130% price, but instead Pawn Grabber leather only at 117%, and Porcupine leather 114%. So prices will be affected by this. I'm not gonna remember all of this, I'm not gonna look at all of this. Now let's discuss what we are willing to offer for your craftdwarfship. So this is what the mountain home will buy from us preferentially. They will pay 60% more for musical instruments. They would pay double for shoes. There seems to be a distinct lack of footwear in our civilization. Are our dwarves going around bare feet? If so, it'll be our holy quest to make beautiful shoes and boots for the entire kingdom, and they're gonna pay double. So that's really cool. Unfortunately though, I don't have a legendary a legendary leatherworker. However, look at the third line, rock scepters. Yes, they're gonna pay double for scepters made out of stone. And you know what? I have a legendary stonecrafter. This is working out perfectly. They would also like tools, but they're not gonna pay a premium for those. And I think in this case tools will be, again, wheelbarrows and step ladders. Tanned hides. They want hides, so leather. But we also want that. I still don't have that industry set up because I don't have a hunter going out. They would like quivers specifically. If we can make quivers, again, they would pay almost double. They also want legwear. And then rings. I hope they don't know about our mist ring. They want cloth. Eventually we will make a bunch of pigtail cloth. And splints specifically. So I ordered gypsum from them. They want to buy splints from us. Don't ask me how that works, but let's be done with this. Let's remember rock scepters for now, and maybe footwear in the future. Stakud Mezir Tekud says, farewell, Dobar Imushvesh. I look forward to our meeting next year. Our fortunes rise and fall together. Well, Mr. Stakud, farewell, safe journey back to the mountain home. Thank you very much. Now let's follow these guys as they enter our fortress. Why didn't he go downstairs? I mean, the view following. They definitely did go downstairs and they unloaded all their goods in our trade depot. However, we still don't have anything to sell to them, so I'm gonna pause in here, and this is gonna be closing thoughts for this episode, which I think is gonna be already pretty long. So we have achieved much. We have set up our stockpiles. Look in here. Did I just say stockpiles? These are not stockpiles. These are workshops. However, each of these workshops has its own stockpile. So when we next episode give some orders specifically to this guy in here, to Ralph's workshop, to go ahead and make some rock, look at this, scepters, just like this, you know, we could do this and say R. So do rock scepters repeatedly, my friend. We could even go ahead and do details and say make them out of quartzite, because you have quartzite right here. This is full of quartzite, right? He can just go there and do you know pick up quartzite, make scepter, put scepter in the output. Rinse and repeat all day, every day, right? And we're gonna have tons of extremely well-made quartzite scepters that we can sell. Should we even try to encrust these scepters? Maybe we can experiment with that. Anyway, this is all well and good. We set up all of that. We should also have all our homes dug out. There's still nothing in there. So in the next episode, what we need to do is we need to use the manager to ask the carpenter shop upstairs to create all the things that we need for these individual rooms. I don't know if it's the time to start smoothing stone. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. On behalf of the dwarves of Katdiriton Oltaristrath, so Glimmerhall, the Gilded Jewel, I want to thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank you, all of you, for being here and following me in this journey. I hope you're liking this. This series, unfortunately, will be short-lived because very soon the premium version of Dwarf Fortress, the Steam version of Dwarf Fortress, is gonna come out, and I'm gonna switch. But I might even continue to play this for a while. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe. I mean, it all depends on life, my voice, which has surprisingly held up to this pretty long recording. So I'm grateful for that, at least. But yeah, it's gonna depend on how much time I have. Anyway, guys, whatever happens, if you're still here, you are my hero. So let's end this in the usual way. Fans of Dwarf Fortress, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again in the next episode. Alla prossima!